Okay.
So this is our evaluation of our podcast project.
/ interactive thing campaign.
Yeah, an interactive marketing campaign. So the theme of the project. The theme of our project was. Well, we had to make a podcast and market it in an interactive way, obviously. We chose to do our podcast about kind of facts.
Facts, yeah.
So a nice present, we'd all bring a fact to the group and then discuss it as a group, looking at its different validities.
And we called it Factinating.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
So our ideas.
How did you develop your ideas?
It was initially quite a well formed idea.
Yeah, I mean, the original idea came from Ed, but then we sort of all pitched in and put a separate thing to it. And then we eventually came out with, we all gave a fact, and then we all ranked it, which, came out
live
good.
on podcast, we should make clear.
Yeah.
So generally...
they didn't really change throughout the project, did they?
No, it was quite a well fleshed out idea initially anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have to do too much modification.
No.
But it did change minorly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Slightly.
So research. In terms of research, we did a lot of research
Quite a lot,
into
actually.
the interactive marketing side of things, particularly looking at other interactive and viral marketing campaigns, seeing what we could do.
Like Jurassic World and other ones like that.
Yeah, we had a look at what we could do in order to market our podcast, because we were a fact-based podcast, so we wanted something professional, but with a little bit of a spin to it. So we created some posters, we created a website, we had social media accounts credited with the names of Factinating, obviously.
Could you have done more? Well, yeah, maybe, I think. Because, well, in terms of research, I think we're right, but in terms of actually doing the thing, I think we lacked. Because we made a poster and then lost it again. And then we made another one. We did do a website, though.
Yep, our website remains up.
Jago did lose the YouTube channel, so we had to make a new one of them.
But the effort was there.
It was there, eventually.
It was points for effort, but yeah, due to the issue of not writing down passwords as was suggested, we did unfortunately lose a YouTube account. We're not blaming anyone for that.
No.
But it was Jago's fault.
Yes.
What inspired you and why in terms of podcasting and marketing? Jago.
What was the question, sorry?
What inspired you and why in terms of interactive marketing and
the podcast.
podcasting?
What was your main inspiration?
Well, don't mind me, I just have to read that again.
Literally just says what inspired you and why.
What one is it?
What inspired you
Oh,
and why?
right. Well, in terms of the production process, I was looking at podcasts like the True Geordie podcast, Joe Rogan podcast. Those are some that I have also documented on my Weebly. I just like the way they're sort of presented, and I felt maybe if we could deliver a nice, well-rounded podcast, then it would make us proud, you know.
Yeah.
What about you two?
Yeah, I had the same sort of like the True Geordie is one that I'm quite interested in. Same with Joe Rogan. It's just the professionalism that they bring, and while remaining relatable and sort of easy to talk to. Like it's like you're in the room while you listen to the podcast. So that's the sort of thing I wanted to emulate. That's not the word, but imitate. That's the word.
Imitate,
and
take inspiration.
Yeah. What about you, Ollie? What was your inspiration?
Personally, the podcasts I enjoy are things like the Funhouse podcast, which is a group of people talking on current events, news stories, mostly within the sphere of kind of games and games media. So I found that kind of format quite interesting. It's a multi-camera setup, which we wanted to emulate. There was, I think it's 3 cameras, and they cut between the 3 with one camera showing all of the people on set.
That's
which I thought was nice, and I wanted to emulate something like that, which we ended up doing for our actual podcast. As well as the Drunken Peasants podcast, which is another current news and events kind of podcast, talking about the news, talking about what's happening, generally keeping people updated in a more fun manner.
Yeah.
But, I found that one quite inspiring because of the dynamics between the hosts. There's rivalry there, but also it's always a very very colloquial show,
Mm.
but professionally produced, which makes it something we wanted to emulate.
What about the interactive campaign? What sort of things inspired us, do you reckon, as like a group, do you reckon?
In terms of interactive marketing, I like the kind of style of, again, more colloquial podcast exposure. Drunken Peasants is a good one. We've got a similar kind of off the cuff comedic style, which meant we could market them in a similar way with the posters we created.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of that kind of style of podcast or that kind of interactive media work.
Okay. What techniques and skills did you develop during the project?
A lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Specifically?
yeah. What specific skills did you develop?
Well, I think that editing really came into its own when we had our free camera setup. It gave a very individual twist to each of our edits.
That's true.
Obviously, having that ability to pick
Like independence.
what camera shots you wanted to use and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, in just unity, not Assassin's Creed, but I just feel we all came together and really powered through.
We did, yeah.
Or that's what it looks like on camera anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What about the interactive campaign? What sort of skills do you reckon we developed during that?
Well, personally, I made a very nice poster on Microsoft Word, which, in terms of skills, I definitely learnt the inner workings of Word a bit better than I had before.
But the ones we did, Luke did the one in Photoshop, so I think our Photoshop skills slightly developed, even though not many of us
Photoshop skills were
still
were
can't
important.
use it.
It's a difficult software to get
It
to
is
grips
very
with
difficult.
at the end of the day.
Plenty of time to learn.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I find.
It is. There is.
Jago knows.
Jago
Jago
does know.
knows. Okay, so in our final project, were there any notable codes and conventions that we used to identify it as the piece of media that it was?
I don't actually know. I think just
Brilliant.
well, you know, like
Sound.
you watch other podcasts and you sort of after watching them, you know what sort of
I mean, the whole
thing you
format's a
want.
convention,
Yeah.
really, isn't it? The long
the
form
entire
format, the
multi-camera.
the improvised dialogue, but
Yeah.
some elements of scripting with baked in advertisement. That's very typically podcast.
You want like the host to quite relatable but sort of fictionalised, to have some sort of character to them.
Yeah, each one of us were playing a character that was, I'd say, a slightly exaggerated version of ourselves, to a
But yeah.
lesser or greater extent.
Yeah.
Jago, of course, chose to amplify the fact that he was grumpy and didn't say much.
And this is clearly what I'm
For
doing right now as
example.
well. You know, stay in character.
Well, it was mostly fact-based content, wasn't it? We had
It
our
was.
facts. And, Sunday, why has that gone red?
I don't know.
Because the bloody you got a phone.
It's basically covered in that, innit?
What content did you include and why? Did it work successfully? What content did we include?
Well, it was
A lot.
mostly...
There wasn't.
Yeah, it was fact-based
It was
stuff.
just, yeah.
It was improvised. We had a baked-in advertisement. We had an animated intro. We had.
We did,
When
yeah.
you think about it, we did produce quite a lot of content for that.
Yeah.
I would say the animated intro is one of the best I've ever seen.
I think honestly, yeah.
It is an incredible.
Turned out
intro.
better than I thought it would.
Oh,
Did it work? I think it worked. Definitely worked successfully. I mean,
Mhm.
with all the stuff that we used, I think it all worked together and
Yeah, it made a cohesive
didn't seem
podcast.
quite unnatural. So yeah.
It came together cohesively. I don't think anything felt particularly out of place for
No.
the tone we were going for.
I don't think so either.
So that worked nicely.
What were the meanings and messages you wanted to convey? And what you well, there wasn't many meanings or
It was-
messages we wanted to
Yeah,
convey.
we were just trying to bring across these
Entertain.
facts.
I mean, yeah,
It
it's
was an
just
entertainment
entertain.
podcast. There wasn't any kind of deep inner meaning to it.
And I think it was definitely entertaining. So we did succeed in that. In that
the audience will be
area.
the judge of that, but
Yeah,
yes,
alright.
you could say so.
So yeah, in terms of meanings and messages, there weren't many we wanted to convey, was there?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No. How successful do you feel the final product was? Well, yeah, it was alright. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
it could have.
basically how you just go.
Well, yeah, it could have turned out much better.
It could have turned out a lot worse. At the
It
end of the
could have.
day, it was a cohesive product that was consistently branded,
Yeah.
and made sense as a whole.
Mm.
It potentially could have used some more structuring.
Yeah. I
Maybe if we'd have gone into that recording with
think more
a bit
information.
better idea of the structure,
Yeah.
a bit more precedence set,
Maybe a bit more teamwork.
a bit
As
more,
well.
yeah, a bit more cohesion there, and I think it would have made a slightly more successful product. But generally,
I think the
So-
editing stage really saved our thing. Well, in terms of mine anyway, because
Yeah.
it was a mess to film. But after the editing, it seemed to flow a bit better. So that's good. Is there anything
Yeah.
you would change and why? Yeah, like you said, just more teamwork, make it more cohesive and
Yeah, communicate those
planning.
structures a bit better because we all had an idea of what the structure would be, and they were all slightly different.
yes,
Which
exactly.
meant that in terms of speaking, we spoke over each other a little bit, and there were moments where we weren't sure who was supposed to be speaking. So
Yes.
it was
But
a tad stunted, but
then again,
generally it works.
Like that is like a conversation really, so it is also
Yeah.
quite authentic.
It did,
I
yeah.
feel.
Get marks for authenticity, indeed. What did the
Yeah.
audience think of the music video? I mean, so far,
Of the music video, of the podcast, you mean?
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think the audience think of it?
Everyone that I
Thought
showed
of
it
it.
to found it
Thank you, Jago.
amusing.
My
they felt a
bloody
little
family loved
long-winded.
it, didn't they?
Yeah,
they
so
thought it was
mine.
very funny
They
when we
thought it was
guys
very
started to we'll just try not to laugh, you know.
Yeah.
I think the audience that we found for it seemed happy with the product, although I was told that it was maybe a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we took a little bit too much time
Yes,
to
I
get to
think.
the point.
Yeah, I think that's
But for the
right.
most part, it was a cohesive product that the audience
Mhm.
loved.
Okay. In terms of personal development here, did you work well as a group?
Oh,
No, we did not. I think we worked horribly as a group. But after a while, we got the
It's
hang
good
of
to
it,
be honest,
and we
isn't
just sort of accepted the fact that it was horrible, and we just went with it.
Yeah, well, there were definitely some
There
disagreements.
were very
within the group.
clashing egos going on throughout the entire podcast.
There were definitely there were definitely moments where the podcast would have benefited with some people putting their own ego aside for a second and be a little bit more objective.
That's all right.
But,
Yeah.
but for the most part, yeah, I think as a group it was passable.
It was passable. Yeah.
What about you, Jago? Did you work effectively as an individual? Do you think?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you do, kind of on your own?
Got my fact.
Got your facts. True, you did.
Wrote
Get
my
your facts,
script.
which did win. So
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that
Yeah.
does say something.
Took the
Does.
W.
took the W. Took the W. What about you, Ollie? Do you think you worked effectively as an individual?
I mean, I think I did. I created the intro.
You did.
Pretty much on my own, with input from everyone else. Obviously, everyone said, "Well, maybe you could do it like
Yes.
this, like that," and we worked with that. And then,
Mhm.
in terms of actually creating that animation, though, I was the one who was making that, and I think I got that done within the time frame we needed to.
Yeah. Good.
Without hindering the progress of the rest of the group at all.
There you
So
go.
I think that was effective.
What about in terms of the interactive campaign? Do you think we
In
were
terms
well
of
as
the
a group
interactive
there?
campaign?
Because we each did a little thing. You made one poster.
Yeah.
Luca made another one. Ed did a website. You did a YouTube channel, and then I did a YouTube channel as well.
I really feel like our promotion was really out there
Yeah, it was.
and
I think
worked
it was.
effectively.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it could have benefited by putting it a bit
Remembering
wider.
passwords.
Maybe.
Wider
Yeah, remember
the
passwords.
scope, sharing it
maybe
about a
wider
bit
scope.
more,
Yeah.
try and get that audience a bit more enthused. But for the most part, I think it was a good campaign.
Just bring it back. What do you think the audience thought of the interactive campaign? Do you think? Well, it is hung up in the classroom now, so I think Owen
I
definitely
mean,
liked it.
no one's removed it
No
yet.
one's removed it. Everyone found it funny when they saw it, I think.
Which is kind of the aim. It's a
it was the aim,
podcast designed
to
to
entertain.
entertain,
Yeah.
and so the marketing campaign has to do that too.
Indeed.
So I think that works well.
That's good. How successful did you think the interactive campaign was? I think it could have been better. We could have shared it a bit more, like put the posters up a bit more, a few more places. But apart from that, I think because we did the website, we did quite a lot. We covered a broader range of platforms. So I think in terms of that, we were quite successful. Anything you would change about the interactive campaign?
In terms of the interactive campaign, I would like to have brought some more skill sets into it.
Okay.
I think the posters were really nice, the websites and everything worked nicely.
We could have
I
made
would
it
like to make something a bit more interactive, maybe some kind of origami stuff.
Yeah,
But it was only due to the fact we didn't know how to do that kind of thing and didn't really have the time to learn that we couldn't.
That's fine.
Just something a bit more out there. I
Yeah.
think would have benefited our campaign.
That's fair enough. Right, back to personal development. Is there any ways that you or your group could have worked more effectively? Yeah, we discussed this earlier. So, like, just more cohesion and teamwork and
Communication.
getting a bit of structure, communication. Yeah, that's right.
Perhaps we could have done a little practice run and then rerun,
maybe. That's
as was
true.
suggested.
That is true.
Yeah, but again, due to the fact we weren't quite as cohesive as a group as we could have been, that meant a lot of things were a little bit late.
Yes. Right. There you go.
Yeah, we ran over a bit and ran out of time.
But yeah, but apart from that,
Successful.
yes.
Yeah, I think it worked well.
Right then, that's done.
Sorted.